Okay, so our last video we talked about the 3 vocab terms that are very important when we're talking about combining like terms. And those are, if we just recap, constant, coefficient, and term. So now we're just going to take that concept of identifying the parts of our expression to the next level. Now we're going to combine like terms. And combining like terms is exactly what it sounds. To combine means to put 2 things together. And like means they have to be the same. So, like I said before, sometimes we'll have solutions that might look like x equals 5, but we're not there because we don't have an equal sign, remember? So our final solution is going to be in an expressions form. So we're not going to have an x equals, we're just going to have a simplified expression. So it's similar to like when we simplify fractions, where we take a fraction and we make it smaller. That's basically what we're doing here with this expression. We're finding the parts that we can combine to make the expression smaller. So if you look at this example expression I have, what are the 2 things that are similar, that jump out right away? What are 2 things that are similar? Take a second to think about that. So I have 2x and I have 3x. Those both have x's. Those are like terms. So because they are like terms, I can combine them. So I can add them together. So 2 plus 3 would give me 5x. So now those like terms are gone. I've combined them into 5x. I'm still adding. Is there anything within here that's similar to 5? There's not. There's no like terms that I can combine with 5. I have no other constants in this expression. So I would finalize it to say 5x plus 5. So that is my final solution. I have combined all the like terms within my expression to get a final simplified answer. We're going to do another example to help us understand that. So I might have negative 4x plus 2 plus 6 minus 5x. So this one got a little bit more complicated, but the concept is still the same. So I'm looking for like terms, things that are similar. So I'm going to start with same thing before, my x's that are the same. So I have negative 4x and I have a negative 5x. That's the key I want you guys to focus on. Every term within an expression always has an operation with it. Sometimes you'll have a negative that you see, and sometimes you might have a subtraction symbol, but that also means that it's negative. Just like these constants have an addition symbol, which make them positive. So right now I need to combine negative 4 and negative 5. So let's recap back to the very beginning of the year. Negative 4, a negative plus a negative, it stays negative. So it becomes negative 9x. So I took negative 5 or negative 4 and I combined it with negative 5 and I got negative 9x. So those 2 symbols have been combined. But I'm not done. Like I was before, we only had 1 step. This time we have 2 because we also have 2 constants. These are constants. They can be combined. You know you can add 2 plus 6. So I'm going to combine my like terms. So 2 plus 6 is 8. So when I look here, I can't combine negative 9x and 8 because they are not like terms. They both don't have x's and they're both not constants. So that is my final answer, negative 9x plus 8. So I'm going to do one more example. So sometimes we might have multiple variables within. So I might have negative 2x plus 3y minus 8 plus 10. So I need to see, do I have any like terms that I can combine? So you might say, oh, Miss Wilcox, that's a variable and that's a variable. I can combine those together. You cannot combine things that do not have the same variable. So because that is an X and that's a Y, I cannot combine those. So I don't have any terms with variables that I can combine here. But I do have two constants. So I have a -8 and I have a +10. So I have to take 10 plus a -8. If you want to use your calculator for this, guys, I'm totally fine with that, remember. But we started with a bigger number, and we're taking 8 away. So it's like we're subtracting. 10 minus 8 is 2. And I can't combine these, so I have to bring them down because I can't do anything with them. So my final answer would be -2x plus 3y. This is a +2 plus 2. So if you can't combine them, they still have to be part of your final answer. Remember, for these, you're not going to have answers like this because you don't have an equal sign. These are expressions. So for this, we're not looking for answers like that. We're looking for answers in expression form. And we're only combining terms that are alike. We're only combining constants. You can combine negatives and positives, but you cannot combine terms with different variables. So we're going to do one more just to make sure that we understand. So let's do a hard one. So we'll do -5 plus 10y minus 2x plus 3y minus 1. So this one's going to be tricky. We're going to take our time for this. So we're going to look and see, what are my like terms? So I'm going to find my y's first, because it's always easiest to find your terms that have variables, because they're easy to point out. So I know I have a positive. I want to make sure I include that positive there. So I know it's a +10y and a +3y. So I'm just going to add those together. 10 plus 3 is 13y. So I've combined those two terms. So those are good. Is there any other x's that I can combine with? There are not. So I'm going to move on to my constants. So I have a negative. I'm going to use a different color to make sure I don't get confused. I have a -5 and I have a -1. So remember, I'm adding those together. I'm combining them. So -5 plus -1. Remember, it's like we borrow money. I borrowed $5 from one sister, and then I borrowed another dollar from another sister. So altogether, I still owe money, so it's still going to be negative. So -6, because -5 plus -1 gives me a -6. And like I said, guys, if you need to use a calculator for that, I'm totally fine. So we've combined those two. Did I bring all my terms down? I did not. So I still have to bring this down, even if I didn't combine it with anything. So it's a negative. Let me use different colors to keep with our. It's a -2x because every term has to have a value, positive or negative, and there's a subtraction symbol in front of it. So I write minus or subtracting 2x because that means negative. So my final answer would be 13y minus 6x, or -6 minus 2x. So I combined all my like terms and I brought them down to a final expression. So that's all we're going to do for now. If you have any questions, guys, feel free to email me. I'm also going to put some other resources on the site to help you guys, because I know it's kind of difficult to do this stuff over just one video. But remember, do your best, turn in whatever you have, and stay safe. Thank you.